Good morning, everyone. Could you please confirm, are you guys able to hear me?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so we'll start with the today's session. In yesterday's session, we have discussed about. In yesterday's session, we have seen about how we can able to create a VPC, and we have seen about how we can able to create a public subnets, right? To extend to that, today we'll discussing about how actually we can define the your load balancers in that VPC. We'll discussing about in today's session. Okay, let me close this thing. Let me, yeah. So first we'll talk about what is your objective, and before we'll talk about the objective, and we'll try to discussing about what is the challenges we are going to face and what we discussed about in yesterday's session. That we'll see first, and after that we'll see about the how we can able to set up the resources within the public subnet what we have created. So before we go with the private subnets, we have to understanding about the what is a public subnets and how we are trying to setting up all the resources what we have. So we have seen about VPC. VPC stands for the virtual private cloud, where you are going to creating isolated location on your AWS cloud, where you are going to manage securely all your resources. It might be load balancers, it may be a network load balancers, it may be a user instances, it may be cluster. Whenever you want to deploy the application, any application in the cloud, we have to understanding about how securely you're trying to managing all your application in the cloud. That's what basically we have to understanding about what it is mean by the load balancers. And what is mean by EC2 instances, what is mean by okay clusters. You do whatever you want, but the thing is we have to keep the security for or we have to provide security for your applications. That's what basically we have to understanding about how we can do it right now. So let's move on. Let's try to understanding about how we are trying to perform these operations by using it in today's session. First, we'll talk about the what is our objective, and we'll see about how we are trying to design your application deployments in today's session. First, let's go to the draw a diagram. We'll try to first create a picture, and out of that, we'll try to go to step-by-step process. The first, let's move on, and we'll see about the how we are trying to perform these applications. First, let's go ahead. Now click on the create new diagram here. After that, what we can say, we have to click on the create. Okay. Now let me click on the pick the folder here. Click on yes now. Okay. The first try to understanding about what is our today's objective. First, let's try to go to the region. Sorry. Okay, this is my region. I'll choose a region where I want to set up all my resources first. Next, within the region, what we'll do, we have to create one VPC. Create one VPC. Let me create the shape here. Okay, let me expand this. This is my VPC, which I'm setting up. Let's say this is fine. Okay. Or so this is my VPC. Within the VPC, we'll try to create one. Sorry, within the region, we are trying to setting up one VPC. It is. This is my VPC. Now, so now we'll try to create the subnets. which subnet we are creating here? We are creating a public subnet. So we'll see how we can able to create a private subnet as well. We'll create one subnet here. Okay. Now within the subnet, what we'll do it? We are trying to setting up two EC2 instances today sessions. Create two EC2 instances. Let me create right now. This two instances I'm going to create. On top of two instances, what we'll do, we are trying to deploy different applications. Okay, we have to understanding about how the high, like now, for example, you have the Flipkart application, Amazon application. You are getting too much traffic towards applications, right? We should understanding about how it is going to manage applications. Now, on top of it, what we'll do, we'll set up the load balancer. We'll see about how we can able to set up the load balancer. Let's go to here, load balancer. We can say this is a type of the load balancer which we are trying to setting up the classic load balancers on top of these instances. To distribute the traffic between these two servers, we try to set up the load balancer on top of it. Now we have to attach the internet gateway whenever you want to access this application outside the network it is. Let's try to understand about how we can able to attach the internet gateway. Let me try it with the IGW. You're going to get it, okay? So let's search with IGW. Where is it? Let me search for the internet-gateway. Search spelling. Search. I need exact symbol to make you to understand about. That is the reason I'm just searching for the symbol it is. Okay, let me take this and try to put it up in top of the region it is. Okay, now this is my customers. If my customers would like to access my application, or which is we are trying to create load balancer, we'll see that how we can able to perform in today's session. So whatever which I'm doing right now, everything I'm just trying to do it in a secure networks. So we have to understanding about how we can design this kind of infrastructure from the scratch. Okay, let's see now how we can do it. What are the steps we have to perform it is. The first, what we can do, we have to define the VPC. So we'll explain the step-by-step process. Also, we'll try to understanding about what is the definitions, and we'll set up the complete infrastructure what we have designed in the today's session. Okay, I'll just make a steps over here. What is the step one? What is step two? And what exactly you're trying to do it? What exactly you are going to perform it is. Step one, we have to create a VPC. So we know about the what is VPC. Let me log into my AWS account first. Because it is chargeable, every time whenever you're done with the practice, we have to delete all the resources. That is very important point. You have to utilize the free resources what is going to provide by the cloud. That is the reason when you're done with the practice, please try to delete the resources what you created, because all the resources are chargeable. When you're setting up the load balancers, when you're setting up the VPCs, when you create elastic IP address, NAT gateways, internet gateways, all these are going to be charged from your pocket. Okay. The first option, we have to go to this option. And what we can say, we have to create the load balancers. Before load balancer, we have to create the VPC. Go to services now. Under services, we have to go to the option name. It is called as a, yeah, we have to go to services. Under services, what we have to do, we have to go to network and content delivery. And here what we can say, we have to go to the option name. It is called VPC. It is the virtual private cloud. So go to the VPC first. Yeah. Now let me create the first VPC. Click on your VPCs. Now click on the create VPC first. Now here we had to mention about the VPC name. The VPC name is, I'm just going to provide the client VPC or client technologies. So yesterday, whatever you created, I had deleted everything. Let me go with the client technologies. This is already, we know that the setup. I'm just go a little bit faster here. I'll provide the 16 is nothing but my mask subnet mask value. And now click on the create VPC it is. So within the VPC, what we have to do? We have to create one subnet, right? Click on create subnet. The subnet should be a client technology within the client technologies. Now, if we come to here, the subnet name we have to mention. The subnet name, I'm defining it is called client -web it is. And availability zone, we have to set which availability zone we have to create. Now, each availability zone should have one subnet. Come down here. Now click on the create subnet. It is okay. Let me go with the 10.0.1.0 and we'll provide the 24 it is. So it will tell you that how many APIs can able to accommodate 256. Now what I can do, I'll just try to go ahead and see about the how we are trying to explain this one. It is. Now I have to click on the create subnet. The subnet also it is got created. So go to click on the refresh here. The subnet created under the client web. Now what we have to do? We have to attach internet gateway to the subnet. Now go to the internet gateways. Now click on the internet gateway first. If you want to connect the virtual router to the VPC to the internet, definitely we require something. It is called as the internet gateway we have to create. Now first provide the name of the internet gateway. I'm just going to provide the client hyphen. We'll just go to here, internet gateway. Let's, for example, I'm just going to provide the IDW it is. Now click on the create internet gateway it is. It is created. Now attach this internet gateway to the VPC first. Let me go to here. Now let's go to my attached, which VPC we have to attach? This VPC. Now whenever you attach this VPC to the internet gateway, the subnet, whatever it is there, it is going to become a public subnet. So if we go to this is the subnet right now, click on the subnet ID. If we just come down, we can look at my screen. We have a route table. We can look at my screen. We have a CL block. Now first what we can do, we have to go to route table and we have to enable the routes. So click on the 8 route table association. This is nothing but route table ID. Let me go to the route table first. And we have to add the routes. Go to the VPCs. Now, if we go to VPC, if we just drag and drop here, we can look at here. What is your main route table it is. This is nothing but my main route table. This is a route table ID. Now click on the edit routes here. We have to click on the add route. Now we have to open the, now here we have to set the internet gateway. Attach internet gateway to inspector route table it is. We have one internet gateway, client-IGW. Now click on the save changes. So up to now, we know that the step, whatever I have performed, same steps I have performed this as of now. So the steps, whichever I'm just going to execute the, going forward, the steps we have to understand very clearly. So first what we have did, we created one VPC. Within the VPC, we created one subnet. Within the subnet, what we have done, we attached one internet gateway. It is going to become the public subnet. This is going to become a public subnet. So if you attach the NAT gateways, it is going to become a private subnet. Still, we haven't discussed about that concept. We'll discussing about later. Now, within the subnet, what I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to creating 2 instances. On top of it, I'm setting up the load balancer. We'll see about how we can distribute the traffic between these 2 applications which is running on 2 different machines. So because load balancers are going to playing a crucial role. So when you're trying to working for any client application, so they'll ask you that what is the best practices, which servicer we can go ahead, which is less costly it is. So as of now, try to understanding about load balancer. When you're discussing about Kubernetes, we have to discuss about the ingress controller. On top of it, we'll see about how we can able to create application load balancer. Then we'll try to compare which is the cost is cheaper and which one we can sell to the client. That is what we have to understand how the application oriented your concepts are going to be work. Now first let's try to understanding about the uh, how we can able to set up the load balancer within the VPC. The first whatever I'm doing right now, everything I'll do it within this particular VPC only in a secure network. Now I'll try to go to my services. In the services, I'll go to the EC2 instances here. Now what I'm doing here, I'm just trying to creating one EC2 instance here. Let's go to the instances now. When you go to instances, first click on the launch instance. That means I'm just going to creating one instance right now. Click on the launch instance. When I click on the launch instance, we have to understanding about what is the instance which you want to launch. The first, what I can do, I just want to provide the, what is the name of the instance which I want to create. That instance name we had to mention first. Okay, let me go ahead and try to see about how we are trying to set up the instance first. I have to go with the instance name. The instance name could be, let's say, for example, this is nothing but one web server. This is one web server. Let's, for example, it is a app here. Now, after that, what I can do, I'm just trying to choose the OS. So I'm just going to choose the OS. It is called Ubuntu now, right now. So first, I'll try to create a Ubuntu server. And after that, come down. We have to choose what is the instance type. See, instance type, it is nothing but how many like CPUs we require and how much RAM we required for your instance which you are going to create. So whenever you're trying to talk about how many types of CPUs and how many the RAM, how much RAM we require, we have to mention about what exactly it is mean by. Like we have to go to here. Let's, for example, if you require one CPU, 2 GB RAM, and if you require the two CPUs at 4 GB RAM, it depends on your what kind of application you're deploying. Depends on that we have to choose the configuration, how much we require it is. Now I'll just go to here. I'll choose something. It is called as a 1 CPU, 1 GB RAM. And after that, we require a key pair. See, we don't require to create a key pair every time. So whenever you create a key pair under the region, the same key pair we can use for the multiple instances within the region. I'm talking about not across the regions. So within the region, we can able to attach the same key pair to the multiple instances. That's what we have to understand. So let's go to here and try to understanding about what is the key pair. This is the key pair which we created, demo-server. The same key pair I'm trying to attach it to my instance. Now, it is very important step, network settings. Click on the 8 network settings. When you click on the 8 network settings, here when you come down here, we have to go option name, it is called the which VPC you are trying to deploy your servers. So how you are trying to securely or trying to deploy your applications. So this is nothing but default VPC, which is going to provide by the AWS by default within the region. See, every region we have the default VPC, which is going to provide by the AWS. So whenever you're trying to deploy this resources, it may be EC2 instances, it may be load balancers. We have to understand about it is not secure way. So we have to always create our own VPC. Within the own VPC only, we have to create all the instances and we have to deploy your applications. Now go to this option name, it is called Client Technologies now. And here we can look at my screen. We have to enable the public IP address. So I have to enable the public IP address. So it is going to generate dynamically the public IP address. Now when you come down here, we can provide the security group name. See, security group name also we don't require to create every time. So once you define the set of firewalls which you required for your application, the same security group we can able to attach the n number of instances when you're trying to create a instance. So when I go to the option name, it is called select existing security groups. You see that if there is anything is available, it will show you that. As of now, we don't have anything. There is only default security group is available. So because just now I created my VPC, I don't have any security groups. So let me create one security group right now. Let's say, for example, here, I'm just going to mention let's, for example, this is nothing but a demo server. That is nothing but my security group name. After that, let's copy that. Inside description, I'm just going to pass the description over here. This is nothing but again the description. And here, when you just come down here, we have to select the rules, the which firewall security we required. See, SH protocol, if we don't enable SH protocol, we can't able to access your instance securely, which is already running in my AWS cloud. Whenever you want to access your remote server securely, we had to enable this protocol called as a SSH. Nothing but secure shell protocol. We have to enable it. So if we don't enable, we can't able to access the application. We can't able to access the server securely. So now I'm trying to adding one more rule. Click on this. So I want to access the application which deploying in my server. If I want to access, I require the HTTP server. This is nothing but HTTP server. And when you come down here, you see about the source type it is. The source type, I had to choose something, it is called as a anywhere. So that I can able to access the application wherever I want. That is what basically we have to understand right now. So if we just go to the protocol type, the protocol type, it is called as a HTTP, and it is a port number, it is called as a 8080s. Okay, now, and if you just go to here, you look at my screen and look at the source type. It is the source type, it is nothing but anywhere. And how much storage you required for your instance. That is what we had to mention. The configure storage, which I'm just going to mention about the 30 GB it is. That is what the storage, how much I required. So the number of instances, I required 2 instances. I required 2 servers. So that I'll show you practically how this load balancer is going to work, how it is going to distribute the traffic between the 2 servers. For that reason, I'm just trying to creating a 2 instances. You have to remember one point. Whatever I'm doing, everything here, I'm doing in my secure network. It is within the VPC. This is what is the main important point, which we have to understanding over here. Where you are trying to setting up your servers. That's what we are trying to focusing more over here. See, I'm trying to setting up all the servers within the VPC, and within my subnet, which I created, I'm trying to enable the elastic IP, I'm trying to enable the public IP as it is. Now come down here. The moment when you click on the launch instance, it is just look at my screen, it is going to launch 2 instances. So now I'm just trying to launching my instances here. Now click on the view all instances. I hope up to here everyone clear, right? No one has any questions. Before I just move on, could you please confirm, or if you have any questions you can ask, so that I'm just going to clarify your questions here.
Same key pair can use for these both instances, right?
Yes, both instances.
Because we created with the same configuration, and is that like that, or
The instances, whatever we created 2 instances, the 2 instances with the same configurations, and because we are trying to attach in the same keyword for these 2 instances.
Okay, if we create it separately, then we cannot use, right?
Yes, we can use it. That time also we have the option that select the key pair, which key pair we require, that key pair we can able to select.
Okay, got it. Thanks. Thanks.
So others, anyone required the clarifications? It is feel free to ask you have any questions, or you can shoot in the chat box. That is absolutely fine. But don't go with the blindly. If we have any questions, any sort of questions you have, it is small questions or it is a big question, doesn't matter about it. Ask so that I can able to clarify from my side it is. Okay. Yes.
Since we created one server, after that, like we created 2 instances, right?
We created 2 servers right now. The number
2
of
servers?
instances I mentioned, 2. That means with the same configuration, it is going to create 2 servers.
Okay, VPC is not a server.
VPC is not a server, it is a network.
Okay, within the network, you have created 2 servers.
Yes, yes.
Okay, it means like we can create a number of applications, like servers.
We can create a number of servers, how many you require based on your requirement.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that's good. I see some couple of students are
Yeah,
asking questions. Yes.
yeah, with the same configuration means we can go for 2, but with different configuration means you can go one by one.
Definitely. Yes, one by one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, that's fine. I hope there is no questions as of now. Now let's try to connect the one by one. So first I'll change the names of my servers. So before I just move on, I just wanted to show you something. Click on this the server name. Let's say for example, this I'm going to take I'm going to change. It is called as application server. Application server. Now click on this checkbox. It is going to be renamed it. So look at this instance ID. You look at my screen, the IP address, you will look at my screen. The IP address is going to be like 10 dot, private IP address I'm talking about, a 10 dot 0 dot 1 dot 2 dot 1. So why it is showing about 10 dot 0 dot 1 dot 2 dot 1? Because you create this instance within the where subnet. That is the reason the 3 digits is not going to be changed, but last digit whatever we have, it is going to be changed up to 256 IP address is going to be accommodated. Now, if we go to other instance ID, you look at my screen, it is going to be 142. That only last digit is going to be changed because both instances we have deployed, I mean to say we have created in a same subnet. That is the reason we can able to see that the 3 digits are same, but last digits are going to be changed. It is. Okay, this is what we have to understand here. Now let's try to connect one by one. So before we are trying to connect the one by one server, let's try to draw the diagram to make you understanding about what exactly we are doing it is. So let's say, for example, you take the Flipkart application or you take Amazon application. Say every day some lakhs of customer trying to access my Flipkart application. Do you think that Flipkart has only one server? No, right? It has so many servers. Let's, for example, it is having 100 servers. So whenever there are more customers coming towards my applications, let's, for example, this is nothing but we have one server. Try to understand. This is one server. In this server, what we had it, we had deployed the Flipkart application. Okay. Now, whenever the customers, nothing but end users, we are all end users. This is nothing but my end user, where we are trying to accessing our applications. Now, if we just, this is the end user. Now we are trying to open the internet and the Google browser, and you're trying to hit www.theflipkart.com, right? So do you think that the request directly go to the server? If the server directly go to the request directly go to the server, so we don't know what is happening in the background, right? See, for example, if I just go to the browser, if I go to here, for example, if I go to here, if I hit the www.theflipkart.com, once you hit the enter, check whether you're getting response or not. See, we know about only the response or the website is loading or not. See, we don't know what is happening in the background, right? Even if we just load any other website, for example, if I just enter the amazon.com, it is loading the website, but we don't know what is happening in the background, how they are, how the requests go to server, from which server you are getting the responses. So we don't know all these things. We have to understanding right now. We'll get some idea about how the request will go to your server it is. Now first try to understanding right now how the request will go to the server. See, never the request will never go to the server first. Try to understand in between the end user and the servers, there is something it is called as a load balancer. This is what we can call it as a load balancer. See, there are different types of load balancers we are having. One is nothing but network load balancer, application load balancers. This is what we can call as the L4 and L7 load balancers. So as of now, in today's session, we'll talk about the early application load balancer. So because you are trying to, if you just go to here, when you hit this URL, how you are trying to accessing here, it is load balancer is going to route the traffic between the servers. Now first try to understand about what is a L7 load balancer, or we can say application load balancer. Application load balancer. Try to understanding about what is meant by application load balancer and why we are going to use this application load balancer it is. See, load balancer load balancer serves as a single point of contact for the clients. Now the load balancer distributes the incoming application traffic across the multiple targets such as EC2 instances in the multiple availability zones. This increases the availability of your application. You need one or more listeners to your load balancer. So when you go to the option name, it is called as L7 load balancer. It is basically going to listen the HTTP and HTTP request, HTTPS or HTTP request. Application load balance is particularly useful for the websites and mobile apps running in a continuous or on EC2 instances within the microservices architecture. Application load balancer can be used as a internal load balancer in front of EC2 instances or in Docker containers to implementing the particular services. So now, right now, try to understand load balancer. It is useful for to distribute the traffic. So we're discussing about what is the functionalities of a load balancer. Right now, if you look at this diagram, this is where I'm trying to setting up my application load balancer, and it is going to, whenever the user send the request first will go to my request first will go to this particular application load balancer. Now look at some servers are available in my availability zone 1 or some servers available in different location. It is called availability zone 2 here. So whenever you want to distribute traffic between all the servers, let's now here how many servers are there? There are 4 servers are there. In the 4 servers, we are trying to deploy the same kind of application. When you are trying to deploy the same application, and whenever you want to distribute traffic between your application which is coming towards your application, definitely we require something it is called as a load balancers. Now look at here, there is a one server right now, there is only one end user. So right now there is an end user. This is my load balancer. This is nothing but my server. So think in the perspective of like, in the traffic manager. Traffic manager, for example, you go to any cities like, Bangalore or Hyderabad cities. It is like, there is a huge traffic. There is let's think about there is no traffic signal. So you have to understand about what kind of situation they're facing the traffic police. See, they are standing in like, between the junction. They're trying to control the traffic. Like, they're trying to open one road, they're going to close another road. They're trying to open another road, they're trying to close another road. 2, they are trying to manage the traffic which is coming between the junction it is. The same thing, what are the traffic which is coming towards my application? We have to understand about how to control the traffic. So let's say, for example, you have only one server. So for example, there are 1 lakh requests are coming towards my application. If my load balance is going to send all the traffic to a single server, if my server is not able to handle the traffic, definitely your server is going to be crashed. If the server is going to be crashed, what will happen? You're going to get application downtime. Application downtime means my customers are not able to access my application which is running in my server. So if they're not able to access my application, definitely I'm going to lose money in terms of the business. For example, you are losing one customer means you're losing some amount because the customer visiting my Flipkart website to purchase something, would like to purchase a laptop or you would like to purchase mobile phone. So if my website is having a downtime, my customers will go to other website like Amazon. They will go ahead, they'll go to Myntra. So whichever the website has more reviews, very good, reviews in spite of the the customers, they'll try to choose that particular website, and they'll go ahead and they'll try to purchase this particular the electronic items, whatever they required. Now, what we'll do right now, we'll try to set up the two servers. So we'll try to set up the two servers right now. So every application, whenever you look at like Flipkart application, Amazon application, there are n number of servers are running in the back end. So there is something, it is called auto scaling, that is too early to talk about right now. We'll talk about later. Now I'm trying to setting up two other server here. So now this same server will be having, and the same configuration, I'm trying to deploy the same application over here. Now what will happen, you know, whenever the end user send a request here, the request first, it will go to the first server it is. Now again, whenever the customer send other request here, the same request will not go for the same server. My load balancer will accept the incoming traffic, it distribute to the other server it is. Now what is happening, it is nothing but the first try to understand about the load balancer functionalities. The first one, load balancer will distribute the traffic between the servers. That is the first point. So whatever the incoming traffic, incoming traffic, which is coming towards my application, towards my application. The first load balancer will accept the incoming traffic. Try to understand the functionalities. Load balancer will accept the incoming traffic. Load balancer will accept the incoming traffic. Now, so it is going to distribute traffic between the servers. So before it is going to distribute the traffic, before load balancer distribute traffic, it is going to check the health of the server. Why? Because let's, for example, if the server is unhealthy, if it is not running, if my request come to this server, my end user not going to get any response, then he will think that application has some issue. Even he sent 100 refresh also, the request will go to the same server. It is going to be getting the issue here. So now that is the reason only my load balancer will, before send the request to any of the server, it is going to check the health of the server. We'll see how it is going to check the health of the server. But these are the 2 points majorly we have to understanding very clearly. The first one, the request, what are the traffic which is coming towards my application? First, the traffic will go to load balancer. Load balancer will accept the incoming traffic. Then it is going to distribute traffic between the servers. Before it is going to distribute the traffic between the servers, it is going to check the health of the server. Like we have different load balancer. Load balancer have its own algorithm. It has algorithms. So basically, we use something, it is called as a round robin algorithm. So round robin algorithm, what we do, it is going to accept all the traffic here. It is going to distribute the traffic evenly to all the servers. That means the first request come to the first server, the second request go to second server. So now try to understanding about what is mean by a round robin algorithm or a round robin load balancing. We have to understand. So look at here. What is a round robin algorithm in load balancing? See, round robin load balancing distribute traffic to the list of the servers in the rotation using domain name system. It is, see that an authorized, like now in authoritative names server, we have the list of different records for different domains, provide the different one respond to each DNS query it is. So it is going to distribute a traffic to your servers by using a round robin algorithm. So we'll see how it is going to distribute traffic between the your servers. Now we are trying to setting up this first. So before, what we can do, we are trying to configure these servers. That means we have to convert this instance as a web servers. So first try to understand about what is mean by web server. I hope everyone clear about load balancer. Anyone have any questions here? What is the functionality of a load balancer?
So whatever the round robin algorithm, all these are be provided in the AWS.
AWS.
Meaning, is there any multiple options or it is default round robin?
There are different algorithms we are having, but the AWS is going to provide the AWS classic load balancer. It contains the round robin algorithm.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on. I hope it's clear to everyone. So I'll take it as a now. Let's move on and we'll try to convert this instance of web server. So there are different type of servers we'll be having. One is application servers, database servers, web servers. We'll talk about later about what is database servers, what is application servers. Now try to talk about the what is a web server, what is web server, and why we are trying to use the web server it is. So web server is basically the software. Wherever you want to install the software, we can able to install any of the instance which we require. So try to understanding about what is meant by the web server. See, web server is a computer system combined with the software used for the storing and serving the website files it is. So basically web server, it is going to be stored all your web pages. So every time every time user goes to a website, the client, a browser requests the web pages contents from the web server. It tells the web server websites server delivered to the user's clients it is. The basically whenever you send the HTTP request, you are going to get the response to your request by using this pattern, the web server. So try to understand this diagram so that you'll understand about what exactly meant by the web server. So there are different types of web servers we are having, like we have Nginx, we have HTTPD, we have Apache 2, and we have different types of the web servers we'll be having. So whenever you are trying to send requests to the internet, when you open the browser, the request go to the first web server, where the web server contains all your web pages, like all your web pages, all the requests, whatever it you have, it is going to be storing all your web pages. So we are having a class session regarding the three-tier architecture. There we're discussing about what is application server, what is database server, what is the functionalities. We'll be discussing about later. First, try to understand about the web server. So this is what is the functionalities of a web server. Now, so we have to convert this instance as a web servers. The first, let's try to connect your instances first. I'm trying to connecting this Ubuntu at the rate the my public IP address. So whenever you want to connect your instances, we need a putty software to be installed. So let's open my putty. Some people they call it the putty. That's fine. Go with the appearance. We have to mention about the 14 here. After that, we have to go to connection. In the connection, we have to mention about the 60 it is. And after that, go to SSH, authorization, the credentials. Now click on the browse and we have to upload the key pair that is called demo-server. Now click on this open here, accept this instance. Now we have connected the instance which is running in my VPC. The first, whenever you're trying to working with any of the Linux servers, when you want to execute any command, first you have to become a root user. Root means root have a administrator privileges, nothing but he has all the rights to whatever he want to do in the server. So for example, if I type the command called apt-get install, for example, Apache 2 here, now hit the enter, you see that you're going to get the error. See, unable to, could not open the log file. And also we can look at here, it's showing about the permission denied. And also it is telling that, are you a root? It is asking question to me that you are a root user or not. Why you are executing this command? So we have to first become a root user. Now how we had to become a root user? Type the command called sudo su. So sudo means super user do, su means switch user. That means I'm switching to the root user. Look at here, currently I'm a Ubuntu user. Now the moment when you hit the enter, see I'm become a root user. This is nothing but my home directory of the user, Ubuntu it is. Now, whenever you're trying to working with the Ubuntu server, we have to first update your operating system whenever you want to load the packages. There are different types of operating system we'll be having. Like we have Amazon Linux, we are having Red Hat, we have Debian, we have C Linux, we have Ubuntu operating system. There are different types of operating system we'll be having, but the most of the production domains will be using Ubuntu or Red Hat or Amazon Linux. So now we are trying to use this particular Ubuntu right now. So every operating system you're going to get experienced in this DevOps curriculum. You are going to working on Amazon Linux, you're going to working on Red Hat, you're going to working on Ubuntu. So I'll tell you that in which situations we go with the Red Hat, in which situations we have to go with Ubuntu, or when we have to choose the Amazon Linux. We'll try to understanding about these scenarios. Just now we started. I don't want to give this so much about the Linux here. There are separate sessions about Linux classes. There I'll talk about everything there. Now we'll try to update my operating system. I type the command called apt-get update-y. I'm trying to updating my operating system first. So if you don't update, you won't find the packages in the Ubuntu server. See, for example, if you want to download any software in the Windows machine, what you will do? For example, you want to install the Node.js application, Node.js software. For example, go to the Node.js download. When you're trying to perform the Node.js download, you will go to the official website nodejs.org. Here, what you will do? We have to choose which operating system you are using, which version it is. So if we go to the Windows, Linux, or Mac OS, when you go to down, when you click on this download option, what will happen? It is going to download the specific version. For example, if we go to the pre-built installer, or if you go to pre-built download pre-built binaries, there is an option called download. When you download that, it will be a .exe file, .msa file. So whenever you want to install any of the package in the Windows, we have to go to the internet and we are trying to downloading everything. So now what we'll do it right now, we are trying to download this software in my local machine. I'm trying to installing this. So let's see now how we can do it right now. I'm trying to download this. I'm trying to install it right now. So the same way, we have to understand about what is in the repository. See, no need to download all the softwares if you go to the Linux softwares, Linux operating systems. Whenever I type the command called apt, this is what we can call as a repository warehouse, where it contains all the packages, whatever is required. You may require Java, you may require MySQL, or you may require any of this operating system, whatever you require. All the softwares are available in this particular repository. The repository name, what we can call it as an app repository. Now here, when you type the command called apt-get update-y, that means it's trying to loading or trying to updating my operating system. It is. You see that? It is loading all the operating system. Now we have to convert this instance as a web server. As I said that there are different types of web servers we are having. Like we have HTTPD, Apache 2, and we are having IIS, which is going to be installed on the Windows machine. Like we have different types of operating system we are having. Now first, I type the command called apt-get install Apache 2. So now I'm trying to install the Apache 2 server because yesterday we installed HTTPD, but HTTPD will work only the Red Hat family. Apache 2 is going to support only the Ubuntu family, nothing but Debian family. Now I'm trying to install the Apache 2 server here. Okay, that is going to be installed here. Now, if you want to check whether it is got installed or not, type the command called which Apache 2. You are going to get the whether it is got installed or not. This is nothing but installation path where it is got installed. Now we have to start your server. See, every server has 3 states: start, stop, and restart. Whenever you want to get response to your request, your server should be in a running status. Now, how to start your server? Type the command called service Apache 2 and start it is. You see that I'm just going to starting my server. If you check the status of the server, you look at my screen, it is going to be running status. Okay, let's try to understanding right now. This is the exactly we have to understanding about is active status or it is a running status right now. Okay. This is what exactly we have to understanding about the how the server it is going to be running status. Now we have to create the one application. That means we have to deploy one application in the server. See, every server has a default configurations. In the default configurations, we have to go and we are trying to deploy your applications. If you want to create a virtual host also, we can do that. But as of now, it is not very much required. We'll see that. Okay. Now let's try to understand. Type the command called, let's say cd space /var www. If we go to HTML directory, so this is nothing but my HTML directory over here. Now here, what I can do, I just want to deploy all my web pages over here. Okay. Now type the ls command. There is an index.html page will be having. See, your server will identify your home page application only in the name of index.html page. So I'll talk about why it is like that, how we can able to change the configurations. Everything we'll check it out. Now, if we go to here, now this is nothing but code we are having right now. What I can say, I'm trying to access my application. How we can access your application? We have to go to your instance ID. Now copy the public IP address. Go to here and we have to mention public IP address, go to the port number. Now check whether you are able to accessing your application or not. This is nothing but my test page of the server page. Now it is able to accessing right now. You see that they clearly mentioned about it is the default welcome page used to test the current operation Apache 2 server. Now, if we go to here, you should replace this file located /var www.html. The file name could be index.html page. That is what we have to understand right now. So let's try to understanding about how we can able to replace the page. Now, as I said that we have my source code in the GitHub repository. Now I'll take the same source code. I'll try to deploy in the same server it is. So go to my your repositories. Okay. After that, what I can do, I will try to mention about the repository name. The repository name it is test-app. I think yes. Go to here. I'll try to copy that source code URL. So let me clone into my server first. So if you type the command called git clone and right click, now hit the enter. See, you're trying to clone in this source code. Okay. This is what basically we are trying to do this now. Now, if you type the ls command, go before that, what you will do, remove this page rm-rf. The file name is index.html page because I want to create my own page. Now, what I can do, I'll try to go to here, type the command called /test. Let me go to the test now, web, and we have to go to the app here. Okay. 1 second. This is okay. Spelling mistake. I have to go to this. I have to extract all the files. Okay, copy from here. From where you want to copy here, I want to copy this. If you type the ls command, ls means list. It will show the list of files. I have to copy this index.html page. Where you like to copy right now? We have to copy this inside the var www. Go to HTML file it is. Okay, now hit the enter. Now when you go back here, when refresh your server here, click on the refresh. Now you are going to get different web page. So you got it right now. This is exactly it is done. Now we are trying to copy all the files here. Let's try to copy this now. Cloud services.html. Now type the command called cp here. Right click. Now here we have to provide the var www or go to HTML here. The same way we have to go to the contact.html and we have to type the command called cp, right click, provide the var www and HTML directory it is. So we have just copied everything. Now when you just click on the refresh here, your website is up and running now. Click on cloud services. We can able to see that it's loading right now. Go to contact us also, it is running. See, when you guys can able to access the application which I deployed, let me try to provide this. You can look at my screen and you are able to access my application. Now let me try to configure the other server as well. Let me go ahead and try to configure the other server as well. Go to here, go to instances now. I'll try to connect the other server. This server name, it is called as the web server. So the application server which I connected, let me connect to the web server. Here I'll try to deploy a different application to make you, I'm saying to make you understand how it is going to distribute the traffic. Let's try to connect and try to deploy a different website. So I'll not take much time. I'll do it because at the same configuration, same steps, we have to follow it. Click on the change to make it 16 here. And after that, what I will do, I'll try to go with the colors now. I have to select the color right now. And here it is, click on the modify. This is nothing but my color name it is. Now go to here. And here I have to go to connection, provide the 60 seconds because why we have to mention means when you're not talking to your remote server, it should be go to the inactive status. If you want to keep active status your instance, we have to go this option. Click on the authentication, demo server, click on the open here. You see that your server is active and running status right now. And the first we have to mention the sudo-su command. Now clear my screen. After that, type the command called apt-get update-y. So updating my operating system. Now we have to go to the ls cd space /var www html directory. Sorry. Yes. We have to install first apt-get. If we install, then only we will get the www folder. Install. I'm trying to install the Apache tool right now. We have to go to cd /var www html directory. Now here we type the ls command. We have to create rm-rf. Yeah. So you'll understand about what type of applications you can deploy it is. If it is Java applications, how we can deploy. If it is web application, how we can deploy, because all the applications we're deploying in a containers. We are not deploying any applications in a servers right now. Not only now, in going forward also, we are trying to see about how we can able to contain your application, how we can deploy into the Kubernetes platform. We'll take different like .NET applications, Java applications. You take the Python application, Node.js applications. We'll covering all the source code files, but as of now, to make you understanding, I'm just creating a simple website by using HTML, CSS. I'm just trying to copy that code. That's it. Okay. Nothing more than that. Let me just go ahead here. I'll get the source code from the internet. Okay. Let me go to here and we'll see about the how we can able to get it right now. So first of all, let's go to here. Static application on Web3. Let me get the source code from here. This is my application. There's a question in the chat box. Let's, for example, deploying your applications using K8s, AKS, but my question is, if my application is simple Java-based application, which is jar or a war file, but I want to apply my application using Nginx or Tomcat or HTTP, I can replace the war file. HTML for it works. So basically, whenever you are going to build application by using it is a Java application. Whenever you want to build the application, first we need a build tool required the Maven. So once you build the application with help of the Maven, it's a Java-based application, you are going to get the war files. If you are going to use Spring Boot or Hibernate, when you are going to get the war file means web application archive. That war file, what we can do, we have to deploy in a Tomcat server. So where we can deploy the application there, we can deploy the application inside the Tomcat server under web apps folder. That is the procedure basically we are going to follow. Even when you want to deploy the war file inside the container also, we have to deploy a Tomcat inside the container as well. That is a procedure we have to follow it. Now I have just created my application. Now I want to start my server. It is type the command called service Apache to start it is. See, now this is nothing but my server here. If I type the command called status, now you see it is active and running status. This is nothing but my server is active and running status. Now let me access my server, the second server which we have created, and see two different servers are running two different applications. It is copying that one more server. Now hit the enter. You see that you're going to get different responses. That means what we have done, two different servers, we deployed two different applications. Now we have to distribute traffic between these servers. How we can do it right now? Let's see now. The first, I have given two URLs to you guys. You can access right now. Now we'll see how we can able to configure the load balancer. I'll not take much time. I'll take another 10 to 15 minutes. After that, we'll see about how we can able to distribute traffic it is. See, when you just go to this navigation menu, you see that there is something it is called as a load balancers. So when you go to load balancers, you see that there is a option here. We have something it is called as the create load balancer option. Now what I can do, I'll create load balancer it is. When you create load balancer, there are, as I said, the different types of load balancers will be having, like application load balancers, network load balancers, gateway load balancers. So these two load balancers, what we can call it as L7 and L4. Application load balancer is nothing but L7. Network load balancer is called L4 because in the OSI model, in network layer system, there are 7 layers will be having. The first one is nothing but a physical layer, data link layer, network layer. So session layer, we have session layer, data transport layer, we have application layer, presentation layer. We had 7 layers are there. The based on that, they will call it as this nothing but 7 layers. Now, if we come down here, we can see something it is called as a classic load balancer. See, classic load balancer means if you just come down here, see, choose a classic load balancer, choose a classic load balancer. So when we have existing application running on the EC2 classic network. So now already my application running on my EC2 classic network. Now I wanted to create classic load balancer. Click on the create here. When you click on the create, first we have to mention about what is the load balancer name. The load balancer name could be anything. Okay, I'm just going to provide the Klehen-load balancer. That is the name of my load balancer. The second option is nothing but from where you are getting this traffic. Are you getting traffic from where? I'm getting traffic from the internet. So we are going to go with this option called as the internet facing it is. See, an internet facing load balancer route the request from the clients over the internet to the targets. This is what basically we have to understanding about what is meant by internet facing it is. Now, when you just come down here, where you want to set up the load balancer, that's what we have to understand. See, when you go to here, we have to choose our VPC network cloud client technologies. See, I'm setting up my load balancer within my VPC. Within my VPC, I'm selecting something it is called as my subnets it is. You look at here, we have only one subnet. In the same subnet my instances are running. So I'm setting up my load balancer on the same subnets, on the same availability zone. Next, we require a security group. So as I said that we don't require to create security group every time. So once you create security group with the defined firewalls which are required, I'll go to the option name. It is called demo server. It is. This is nothing but my demo server where I have to go to the option name. It is called demo server. It is. Now, when you just come down here, we have to go to the option name. It is called listeners here. That means which protocol it has to listen. Through which port number you want to get the traffic. That is what we have to understanding about the listener protocol. You see that a listener is a process that checks for the connection request using the protocol and the port you are going to configure it is. So this is what basically we have to understanding about what is meant by listeners here. So listeners is a process that checks for the connection request using the protocol cities and port you configure it is. Now, if we just come down here, what is your listener protocol? That is nothing but my port number 80. And what is the port number's range? It is from the 1 to 65,535. It is. This is nothing but the protocol range it is. So after that, when you just come down here, we have to go something. It is called health checks. See, we have discussed about before load balance send the request to my server, it is going to check the health of the server. How it is going to check the health of the server? It is going to check the health of the server based on the ping protocol. See, for example, if we just open the command prompt, if we use a ping command, it is going to ping the particular server IP address. Ping space www.google.com right now. So it is pinging the Google website. It is pinging www.google.com. This is nothing but IP address of Google. Look at here, it is sent 4 packets here. Is it 4 packet? Loss, it is 0 here. See, this is nothing but minimum time, maximum time, how much it took, average time, how much it is took. Like we can able to ping any of the website what you require. A ping space www. Let's say for example, I have to go to flipkart.com. It is now hit the enter. You see that it is replaying the 163.53.76.86. Nothing but my this is nothing but is pinging the Flipkart website. So this is what we just need to understand. So when you come down here, we have to go with the we have to configure the health it is first. See that, try to understand about ping target is the health check ping sent using the ping protocol and port you specify that. If you're using HTTP protocol, you must also provide the destination path. So now we are using HTTP protocol. This is the ping port number. It is called 80. This is the ping path it is. That means my load balancer before send request to my server, what will do? It is going to send the ping request to my server. It is send the ping request to my server. If it is giving response to my request, then load balancer will send request to my server. Now here, if we look at here, how much time we have to wait to get a response? Do I need to wait for 24 hours? No. So we have to get response within the 5 seconds. This is we can configure how much you want. Interval. Interval means how frequently you want to check the health of the server. Because for example, first time it check the health. If it is working fine, then we have to go with the second attempt. We have to check about how much it is we have to spend. So it is all about how much amount of time between the health checks and the EC2 instances. Like for example, if you want to check the health frequently, like 10 seconds or 8 seconds, so we have to go with this option. It is response time. So whenever you send request to my server, within how much time we have to get response, how frequently you want to check the health of the server. That is what we can nothing but interval. See amount of time between the checks and the EC2 instances. Because if after 6 seconds your server is going to be failed, who knows that? So that is what we have to understand right now. For example, if I don't want to send traffic to the server, I want to stop routing the traffic to the server. How we can decide that? If the server is unhealthy, how we can decide that the server is unhealthy server? See, we have something it is called as a unhealthy threshold. The number of consecutive health checks failures. So first time I send the request, it is got failed. Second time I send the request, it is got failed. Then it is going to declaring as a EC2 instance is unhealthy. I'm talking about consecutive health check failures. If we go to healthy threshold, if we decide once there is a healthy server, how we can do it right now? The number of the consecutive health check success. That means first request you send to server, you are getting response. The second request also you send request, you're getting response. Then you can decide that it is a healthy server. Now, see what instances we have to attach load balancer. See, we don't do manual setup like this. We have to go with this auto scaling. But now, as of now, try to understand. I'm trying to attaching these 2 instances to my load balancer. So look at here. At these 2 instances, I registered with my load balancer. And after that, we have to go with the click on the create load balancer. Let me recap once again. The first, we had to mention about load balancer name, the traffic coming from the internet. So I mentioned about internet facing, in which network you want to define the load balancer, which availability zone, and look at here, the security groups, listener protocols, health checks it is. See, this is nothing but the uh, complete the steps we have to understand about it. Now click on the create load balancer. A load balancer is going to create one DNS name. So you're trying to access your application with the DNS name. So this DNS name, whatever it is going to provide here, this we are trying to configure in the Route 53 server under your domain name. If you want to understand these steps, you will understand about Route 53 that we're discussing about in the couple of sessions. We have to wait. Now we have the DNS name. Now we have to click on the refresh. See, we are trying to understanding about from the scratch how you are going to configure your server and how you are trying to create a load balancer. When you get in the load balancer DNS name, see, for example, you are not acting with the DNS, you are not acting your application with the DNS name, right? You are asking with the domain name flipkart.com, amazon.com, but in the backend, they configure, they attach this load balance to your whatever the domain name which you purchased. If you want to understand that, in AWS, we have a service called Route 53. We have to configure the settings over there. That we'll discussing about when you go to the Route 53. We have to purchase one domain for that. I'll do that. Now click on the refresh now. You click on this load balancer name. And if you go to here, you look at all the information. So whatever you have selected here, listeners, two servers are in service. If we go to the health checks of the servers, see that target instances, my two servers are in service. Now that means it's ready to serve the traffic it is. Now let me access my load balances right now. Go with the DNS name, go to new tab. Now here we have to mention about the control V. Now hit the enter. Check whether you are able to accessing your application or not through the DNS name. I'm just trying to go to here. Now click on the refresh here. Refresh means I'm sending a new request to my server. See, I'm just sending the refresh now. It's giving a response, different response. Click on the refresh. I'm getting different response right now. So if you look at my screen, every time whenever you're trying to refresh here, you are getting the different responses. So even you guys can able to experience same thing. I'm sending the URL in the chat box. You guys can able to go ahead and see about it, how we can able to uh, how this load balance is going to work it is. Could you please confirm, are you guys able to access and you are going to experience same thing? Yes, I got one responses. Yeah. Okay. So, for example, when I'm going to stop my server, before I'm stopping my server, go to here. Let's start automate my server. It is check the config command. Let's go to here. If I stop one server, it is going to check the health of the server. It is going to stop the routing the traffic to a particular server. It is. Let's move on right now. Let me go to here. Let me type the command called chkconfig. Okay. Now we have to type the command called Apache 2. So whenever you use a command called chkconfig command, it is going to automate the servers. It is. Basically we have to understanding about how we are trying to start your server automatically, because I don't want to start my server I don't want to start my server manually. I have to use a command called check config command. So because it doesn't have the check config feature, we have to enable the service like systemctl enable, and we have to enable the service it is. Say for example, when I just go to my instances right now, if we go to instances here, and if I stop one server it is, let's see what is going to be happening. Now I'm just going to stop my instance. That's it. Now check your URL which I provided. See whether you are getting 2 responses or you're getting only 1 response. Are you guys getting same responses? No, right? You're getting only 1 response. So why like that? Because my load balance is automatically check the health of the server. If it is not getting status here, what happening, it is going to be something it is called as this is what exactly we have to understanding about it. So how we have to understanding about load balancer. Okay. So anyone have any questions here? Yes, if you have any questions, you can ask so that I can able to clarify your doubts.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. No problem.
Yeah, actually, I have a question. You have installed the Apache server, right? and then you went into the var/www/index.html, and then you have placed whatever the application website files over there. My question is, if my application is a Java-based application, any different tech stack, which has using a different framework, how can we place in that particular, I mean, just a static website, it's not an complicated website, if that is designed on a Java or any other framework, how can I place that in index.html? Can it only be in index.html format, or can it be in any different var file or jar file? Will the website still work?
That's what I clearly mentioned. So whenever you are going to use the Java, Spring Boot, or whatever the applications here, the first we have to build the artifact. Artifact means is an executable package, which you're trying to build the artifact with the help of the Maven. Whenever you're trying to use the Java enterprise applications like Spring Boot or Hibernate, whatever it may be, or jar you're going to build, if you want to build a executable packages, definitely we require to install the Maven. See, once you use the Maven to build the artifacts, you are going to get the artifact. This artifacts we have to copy inside your Apache Tomcat server. Right now we are using Apache web server, right? Apache 2. The same way,
Yeah.
we have the Apache Tomcat server. We have to install Apache Tomcat server. Now we are going with the www.www/html folder. There, Apache server, Apache web server has a default location called web apps folder. In the web apps folder, we have to keep your artifact. It may be war file or what it may be. You're trying to execute, we are trying to access the application, what you paste inside the web apps folder. That will happen. All these things will be covering when you go with the DevOps tools. In DevOps, we'll be having Maven, we'll be having how we can able to build applications, how we can check the code quality before you deploying, and Tomcat server. That everything we have in this particular Kubernetes.
So basically, you're saying, once we have application tech stack, we can build the artifact, and artifact can be pushed under the web app folder. Be it any
Yes.
kind of tech stack, the web server will run, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Others, anyone have any questions? See, I hope my team has already sent an email with the details about the course, curriculum details, and payment details, everything. And you can go to that email once again. If you have any questions, you guys can get back. Okay. Yeah. So from Monday, we are trying to change the link. We're not going to provide the link for everyone. Sure, for that, from Monday, there is a link is going to be changed. This is not the bits where you're trying to join. And Monday will be going to create one constant URL. I would say constant link where we are trying to connect regularly on the same link. So yeah, thank you very much for your patience. I can catch you in the next session, guys, tomorrow. Thank you very much.